Ladies and gentlemen, I am Roslyn C. De Vera. According to the Constitution of Philippines of 1987, the election is held every 6 years, on the second Monday of May. During election season in the Philippines, opinions are timed a dozen. Everyone has something to say from which president, vice president tandem makes the most sense, to what founding political parties should do to survive. And as we inch closer for the fateful day in May 2022, the debates are sure to get louder. And mention what kind of Philippines you want in this next 6 years, and if any of candidate can help us get there. In a very real way, 2022 is the year young Filipinos can make the huge and lasting impact on the country. The year 2022 is the year young Filipinos can wield the great power of deciding who gets to lead in the country the next years. I agree that more young people are getting involved in the upcoming elections because a lot of them have lost opportunities for proper education, employment, and livelihood, and even the lost loved ones due to pandemic. This coming election is a crucial one because the next president will be deciding our future for the next 6 years, which are the most formative years of young adulthood on the member of the sectors. If you care about a specific issue, it's very deeply, you can also weigh the candidates against how we want this issue tackled or addressed. The, there are certain issues will resonate particularly among the young Filipinos. Getting to know the candidates, platforms, and track record by social media and the internet can help you choose your aspirant. Most applicants will have their official Facebook, Twitter, or Facebook, YouTube pages, and website which should have their resume and bullet point, agenda, or platforms. Read their posts and watch their videos to get a sense of their personality and the way they think or the image they want to project. Yes, this is created content, but it helps to get an idea of how candidates want to perceive them. It says a lot about who they are and what they want to achieve. Take note of what these aren't saying in their official accounts, issues they are not addressing, controversies they aren't mentioning. What they leave out says just as much, perhaps even more, about themselves than what they include. For the Philippines election on May 9, that will decide thousands of positions across to the archipelago nations, including will take over from Rodrigo Duterte and become its president for the next 6 years. Who are the presidential contenders? First, Ferdinand Marcos Jr., 64, the son and namesake of the dictator, overthrown in 1986. People power. Uprising is the clear leader and opinion polls and the promising unity. Marcos is a political heavyweight from a family with wealth and powerful connections. His critics say him winning the presidency and in the Marcos family's endgame. It whitewashing a controversial past. Marcos says he wants to serve his people. Second, Vice President Maria Leonor or Leni Robredo, a staunch critic for President Rodrigo Duterte's brutal war on drugs, joined the race for president, promising to usher any government that cares for the people, not personal interests. Robredo, 56, who was elected separately from Duterte and was not his running mate, said her decision was a difficult one, but she wanted to be a greater service to a country facing unprecedented health and economic shocks. Manila City Mayor Francisco Dumaguso registered to run for the presidency of the Philippines, routing himself as a unified candidate of humble beginnings who can help and economic and livelihood damage by this pandemic. Dumagoso, 46, a former actor, is the second contestant to sign up the May 2022 elections to lead the Philippines for the next 6 years, after newly retired boxing icon Manny Pacquiao. Dumagoso's charisma and humble roots from made him popular in Manila, but experts says he could struggle to win over voters in southern province. Fourth, Philippine Senator Panfilio Lacson on Wednesday declared his candidacy for the next year's presidential elections. The first to confirm a run for the top post surpassed the controversial but popular incumbent Rodrigo Duterte. Lacson, who ran unsuccessfully for president in 2004, is known for his stout stance on crime and for helping to draft a controversial anti-Chiro law, which activities have condemned and fear could be used to crush discern in of Asia's most liberal democracies. Elections are the means to select and elect leaders in governments. Through through elections, we can hold leaders and governments accountable, also with varying success. Through elections, we can ensure that citizens' interests and needs are represented in the democratic process. Although not all the time, most important, through election we get to exercise our right to vote, although we don't always choose to cast our vote. So, for the upcoming elections, be wise, select and elect a leader who will be the good leader for us.